Something strange is happening with the interstellar comet 3I Atlas. In the summer of 2025, our most powerful space telescopes, Hubble and JWST, got their first good look at this rare visitor from another star system. The data they captured was extraordinary. But then, just as things got interesting, the official updates stopped. The information blackout has fueled rampant speculation online, with theories ranging from simple technical issues to full-blown cover-ups. But what's the real story? Why did the stream of information suddenly dry up? And what are we not being told about 3I Atlas? Let's rewind to July 21, 2025. The Hubble Space Telescope locks onto 3I Atlas, capturing the sharpest images yet of this interstellar traveler. 2.5 weeks later, those images go public. They show a nucleus no bigger than 5.6 kilometers across, surrounded by a massive dust plume stretching toward the sun. Then, on August 6th, the James Webb Space Telescope takes its turn, gathering spectral data. But from Webb, we only get technical notes. No stunning headline images, just hints that analysis is underway. A few weeks later, the Gemini South Telescope in Chile confirms the comet's growing activity. Each release sparks a flurry of excitement and discussion online. But after September 22nd, the cadence changes. No new images from Hubble or Webb. The flow of official updates slows to a trickle, then stops. For anyone tracking the comet, the silence is deafening. The public timeline, once filled with steady updates, now has a massive, unexplained gap. The big question wasn't just about what we had seen, but why we weren't seeing anything more. The official explanation from NASA points to something called solar geometry. Observing 3I Atlas with Hubble or Webb isn't as simple as pointing and shooting. Both telescopes have strict safety rules to protect their sensitive instruments from the sun's intense light and heat. For Hubble, the rule is clear. It cannot point within 50 degrees of the sun. For JWST, with its delicate infrared sensors, the rule is even stricter. It must stay at least 85 degrees away. These aren't just guidelines. They're hard limits baked into the telescope's operating systems. If a target like our comet drifts into these keep-out zones, the software automatically blocks any attempt to observe it. It's a non-negotiable safety feature. As 3I Atlas continued on its path through our solar system, its angle in the sky relative to the sun began to shrink. By late August, it had already crossed Hubble's 50-degree limit. Shortly after Webb's observation on August 6th, the comet also entered its 85-degree exclusion zone. At that moment, both of our flagship observatories were forced into a blackout period. The science teams had no choice but to stand down. Attempting to override these safety protocols would trigger an automatic shutdown of the entire telescope. So the silence isn't a conspiracy. It's a consequence of celestial mechanics and smart engineering. The only option is to wait. Orbital calculations predict the comet will move out of the keep-out zones and become visible to our big telescopes again in early December. Until then, the blackout continues. But what did we learn before the blackout began? The hints that trickled out were fascinating. Hubble's images revealed a sprawling coma, a cloud of gas and dust stretching almost 350,000 kilometers across. That's more than a quarter of the sun's diameter and unusually large for a comet at that distance. But the most tantalizing detail came from early spectroscopic notes. Astronomers started whispering about an unusually strong carbon dioxide signal. While no formal peer-reviewed paper has confirmed this, the science teams haven't denied it either. If true, it would be a major discovery. Most comets in our solar system are water-dominated. A comet rich in carbon dioxide could tell us a lot about the chemistry of the star system it came from. Meanwhile, amateur astronomers were making their own observations. Several reported a distinct greenish tint to the coma, a classic sign of dicarbon or cyanogen gas, which become visible as a comet heats up. So, while we wait for the professionals to get another look, let's talk about what makes this comet so special. 3I Atlas is only the third interstellar object ever detected, and only the second one we've known about before it got close. The first, Oumuamua, was just a faint speck that sped by in 2017. The second, 2I Borisov, was a more traditional-looking comet, but it was already heading out of the solar system when we found it. 3I Atlas is different. We spotted it on its way in, giving us time to prepare. Its trajectory is also taking it much closer to the sun than the others, which means it will heat up dramatically. This solar cooking will cause it to shed vast amounts of gas and dust. giving us an unprecedented opportunity to sample the raw materials of another star system. Every particle of dust and every molecule of gas is a clue to its origin. Is it made of the same stuff as our own comets? Or is it fundamentally different, hinting at a completely alien planetary nursery? These are the questions astronomers are desperate to answer. The timing of the blackout, right as the comet started putting on a show, is undeniably frustrating. But it also highlights a shift in how science is communicated. In the past, data from big missions was often kept under wraps for months, even years, while science teams analyzed it. Today, there's a push for more transparency and quicker public access to data. This allows citizen scientists and astronomers from around the world to participate in the discovery process. The long pause in observations for 3I Atlas has tested this new model. The information vacuum was quickly filled with speculation, showing just how hungry the public is for real-time updates from the frontiers of space. It's a lesson for space agencies about the importance of managing expectations and communicating clearly, even when the news is simply, "We have to wait." So, what's next for 3I Atlas? The good news is the wait is almost over. As it re-emerges from behind the sun in December, it will once again be in the sights of Hubble and Webb, and this time, it should be even more active and spectacular. As it gets closer to its perihelion, its closest approach to the sun, in September 2026, the comet's activity will ramp up. The ice on its surface will sublimate furiously, releasing more gas and dust and potentially revealing the pristine, ancient material hidden within its nucleus. Every new observation will add another piece to the puzzle. We'll be looking for more clues about its chemical makeup, its size and shape, and how it behaves under the intense heat of our sun. Will we see it break apart? Will it reveal even more unexpected chemistry? This is our best chance yet to study a piece of another solar system up close. The story of 3I Atlas is far from over. In fact, the most exciting chapters are just about to begin. The silence was just an intermission. Ever since it first appeared in our skies, Comet 3I Atlas has been a puzzle. Astronomers saw classic comet signatures, but with a twist. The green color in its coma, that classic glow from diatomic carbon, seemed brighter and more persistent than usual. But without detailed spectral data from our best telescopes, it was just a guess. Then there was the sunward plume, a jet of gas and dust pointing toward the sun. First spotted by Hubble and then confirmed by the Gemini Observatory, its shape and brightness seemed to change from night to night. Was the comet's surface erupting in outbursts? Or was it just an illusion caused by our changing viewing angle? The mystery deepened when we tried to measure its brightness. Photometry readings from both amateur and professional astronomers were all over the place. Sometimes the measurements differed by more than a full magnitude, which is a huge discrepancy. Now, some of that is just down to different equipment and calibration methods. But part of it might be pointing to real, rapid changes happening in the comet's coma or even its nucleus. With our flagship observatories, Hubble and JWST, mysteriously silent on the matter, these scattered ground-based reports became our only window into the comet's strange behavior. For now, the best available facts paint a picture of a comet with an unusually large coma, a composition possibly rich in carbon dioxide, that strange sunward plume, and a color that just refuses to settle down. In the absence of new data from the big guns, every one of these oddities has become a seed for speculation. It's a stark reminder of just how much we relying on the trickle of information from amateur astronomers and ground-based science to understand this interstellar visitor. By late September, the silence surrounding 3I Atlas wasn't just a technical issue. For the people watching from the ground, it started to feel personal. Social media threads exploded with frustration and wild theories. One amateur astronomer wrote, "It's like chasing a ghost. Every night we're guessing what's actually happening out there." Another asked, "Why can't we just see the raw data? What are they waiting for?" The truth is, the pipeline from a telescope taking a picture to you seeing it on your screen is anything but instant. Every single observation from Hubble or the James Webb Space Telescope enters a kind of limbo. Once the data are beamed down to Earth, they have to be calibrated. This means removing cosmic ray hits, correcting for the tiny quirks of each detector, and subtracting the background light of space. For JWST, the process is even more complex. A single spectrum of light has to pass through multiple software stages, with instrument teams meticulously checking for artifacts or calibration errors. If they miss a single step, they could end up claiming they've found a chemical signature that isn't actually there. Beyond these technical hurdles, there's policy. Both Hubble and JWST operate with what are called proprietary periods. This is usually 6 months for Hubble programs and up to a year for JWST. It means the principal investigators, the scientists who designed the observation and won the highly competitive telescope time, get first crack at the data. It's a long-standing tradition meant to reward them for their hard work. While some scientists choose to release their data early, many wait until their teams have analyzed and double-checked every single pixel. This is especially true for a target as high-profile as 3I Atlas, where a premature or incorrect claim could send shockwaves through the scientific community and the media. Institutional routines add even more layers of delay. Every press release, every headline-worthy image has to pass through multiple agencies. That means NASA, the European Space Agency, and sometimes the Canadian Space Agency for JWST. Each organization reviews the findings, checks for any legal or contractual issues, and coordinates on the timing of the release. Even a simple, non-controversial dataset can sit for weeks in this review loop, waiting for the final sign-off from project scientists and communications leaders. For 3I Atlas, the process slowed down even more as the teams weighed the risks of releasing incomplete or ambiguous results. As one JWST co-investigator put it, "It's better to be right late than wrong fast." With interstellar objects, there's often no second chance to get more data. All of this means that while the public and citizen scientists are starving for updates, the official channels are moving at their own deliberate, cautious pace. That feeling of waiting, of staring at the same old images while rumors swirl, is actually built into the system. For many in the community, the information vacuum feels like a wall of secrecy. But for the mission schedulers and data analysts, it's a wall built for caution. Yet the longer the silence stretches, the more it shapes the conversation, turning procedural delays into fuel for speculation and routine caution into a source of widespread unease. And when official channels go quiet, the rumor mill kicks into high gear. As soon as the flagship telescopes went dark on 3I Atlas, theories began to multiply online. Some threads pinned the information blackout on classified military or intelligence satellites, suggesting they had snapped images the public would never be allowed to see. Others leaned into a panic prevention narrative. This is the idea that government agencies are carefully managing the story, holding back data to avoid alarming headlines about a strange interstellar object. There's even a camp that claims the data are simply too bizarre to release quickly. They imagine scientists scrambling behind the scenes, trying to make sense of something that doesn't fit any of the usual playbooks. The modern media landscape only adds fuel to this fire. Stories about comets that are bright, easy to spot, and photogenic, like Comet Neowise, tend to climb social media charts and make headlines. Their visibility makes them algorithmic gold. An article titled, "What You Can See in the Sky Tonight" will always win clicks. In contrast, a complex object like 3I Atlas, with its patchy updates and technical hurdles, quickly fades from the trending lists. And when there's nothing new to show, that vacuum inevitably fills with speculation. After the Gemini South Observatory released its images in early September, social media engagement for 3I Atlas spiked to levels 10 times higher than for a typical comet. But then, as the data gap stretched on, that engagement drifted towards conspiracy hashtags. But the reality behind the scenes is far less dramatic and much more methodical. Let's walk through it. Every observation from Hubble or JWST enters a multi-stage pipeline before anyone outside the official instrument team even gets a look. First, the raw data are downloaded from the spacecraft and tagged with telemetry information about the telescope's position and status. Then, the calibration routines kick in. These are automated computer programs that scrub the images of cosmic rays, correct for known detector issues, and subtract the background glow of space. For an instrument as complex as JWST, this involves passing the data through at least 3 main stages of processing: detector-level corrections, instrument-specific calibration, and advanced processing like combining multiple exposures and rejecting artifacts. At each stage, the data is checked for errors, flagged for anomalies, and sometimes sent back to be reprocessed if anything looks off. Once the data reaches a science-ready state, the principal investigators and their teams get to review it. As we mentioned, they do this under a proprietary period that can last from 6 months to a year. Only after the science team is confident in their results do they move to the next gate agency review. NASA, ESA, and CSA all weigh in, checking for legal, contractual, and scientific issues. Press officers coordinate the timing of any public release, sometimes waiting weeks for all parties to sign off. If the data is ambiguous or hints at something truly unexpected, the process slows down even further. A premature claim, especially for a celebrity object like 3I Atlas, risks a public correction or even a full retraction, which can be devastating for a scientist's career. The contrast with past interstellar visitors is sharp. When Oumuamua was discovered in 2017, the data poured out almost in real time. Scientific preprints, open online debates, and wild speculation all hit the internet within days. The second interstellar object, Comet Borisov, discovered 2 years later, followed a steady, textbook-like cadence. Images and spectra were released on a predictable schedule with very little drama. But 3I Atlas is different. The initial observations were tantalizing but incomplete, and the subsequent silence has created a perfect storm for mystery and speculation. The slow, careful, and often frustrating process of scientific verification is colliding with our 21st century demand for instant information. The result is a fascinating case study in how science is done, how it's communicated, and how, in the absence of hard facts, our imagination takes flight. So what's the next step? We wait. We wait for the scientists to finish their painstaking work, for the data to clear the hurdles of verification and review, and for the agencies to finally give the green light. Until then, amateur astronomers will keep their telescopes pointed at the sky, and the rest of us will keep debating, wondering, and trying to piece together the puzzle of this enigmatic visitor from another star system. Have you ever felt like you're waiting for a big reveal that just never seems to come? That's what it feels like for astronomers and space enthusiasts following the mysterious interstellar comet, 3I Atlas. There's a perfect storm of technical problems, super cautious reviews, and a whole lot of red tape from multiple agencies. It's slow, it's uneven, and honestly, it's a recipe for rumors and frustration. But here's the thing. Behind all that noise, the science is still moving forward, step by painstaking step. Each one of these steps is there for a reason, to make sure we don't make mistakes, to get the science right before it goes public. For the engineers and analysts on the inside, it's not about keeping secrets. It's about being accurate, even if it means we all have to wait a bit longer than we'd like. So what's next? The big date to circle on your calendar is October 3rd. That's when Comet Atlas will have a close encounter with Mars. And by close, I mean cosmically close, about 28 million kilometers. That sounds like a lot, but in the vastness of space, it's practically a neighborly visit. This flyby is our next big chance to gather some fresh data. But let's manage our expectations. We're not going to get those stunning, high-resolution pictures you might be hoping for. The orbiters we have at Mars, like the ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter, or TGO, and its amazing CASSIS camera, are fantastic for mapping the Martian surface. They can give us images with a resolution of 5 meters per pixel. But from 28 million kilometers away, the physics just don't work in our favor. The best we can hope for is an image where each pixel covers over 300 kilometers. The comet's nucleus is estimated to be somewhere between 320 meters and 5.6 kilometers wide. So in the final image, it's going to be a single, unresolved dot. No details, no shape, just a tiny speck of light against the stars. The HiRIC camera on the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter can do a little better, getting down to about 34 kilometers per pixel, but that is still nowhere near sharp enough to see the nucleus or any features in its coma or tail. These cameras were built for one job, looking down at Mars from close up. They weren't designed to track a speeding comet whizzing through deep space. It's like trying to take a portrait with a microscope. The comet is moving so fast that exposure times have to be super short to avoid a blurry mess, which means the signal we get is incredibly faint. So if we can't get pretty pictures, what's the point? It's all about photometry. That's the science of measuring brightness. While Earth-based telescopes and even our big space observatories like Hubble and Webb are temporarily blinded by the sun's glare, the Mars orbiters will have a front row seat. Just detecting that tiny point of light from Mars orbit is hugely valuable. It helps us track the comet's exact position and monitor its activity. If there's a sudden outburst or a change in brightness during the flyby, our Mars orbiters will be the only ones to see it. And the good news is, the data pipeline is pretty quick. We could get these observations processed and sent back to Earth within a day or two. So the Mars flyby isn't about getting detailed close-ups. It's about being in the right place at the right time to fill a crucial gap in our observations. After the Mars flyby, the real drama begins. The comet reaches perihelion, its closest point to the Sun, around October 29th or 30th. It won't be a true sun grazer, but the intense heat and high speed will put the nucleus under immense stress. This is the moment of truth. Will it survive? As it swings around the Sun and becomes visible again in December, there are a few key things to watch for. First, keep a close eye on its light curve. That's the graph of its brightness over time. If we see sudden, sharp spikes in brightness, that could be a sign that the comet's surface is breaking apart or having explosive outbursts. On the other hand, if its brightness just smoothly increases and then decreases as it approaches and leaves the Sun, that suggests a more stable, steady release of gas and dust. But remember, a single jump in brightness doesn't automatically mean it's breaking up. We need to see a consistent pattern, hopefully confirmed by several different observers. Next, watch the antitail. That's the spike of dust that seems to point towards the Sun, which we can see in wide-field images. As Earth moves, our viewing angle changes, and this antitail can appear to flip or even disappear. For Comet Atlas, the antitail should be most prominent right around perihelion and then fade away as we head into December. Watching how it changes is a great way to confirm the comet's orbit and understand how its dust is behaving. And then there's the color. Many amateur astronomers have reported a beautiful greenish hue. If that color fades or changes after perihelion, it could mean that specific molecules are being used up, or that fresh, different material is being exposed on the surface. But we have to be careful. A change in color in a photo isn't definitive proof. Only a spectrum, which breaks the light down into its chemical components, can tell us what's really happening. We're in this weird information vacuum right now. Official documents tell us that our best telescopes, Hubble and JWST, can't look too close to the Sun. There are also long data processing pipelines and strict proprietary periods where scientists get to analyze data before releasing it. But even with these explanations, the lack of real-time updates on this interstellar visitor is puzzling. We have reports of a carbon dioxide-rich coma, a plume pointing towards the Sun, and that mysterious green tint, but major scientific questions remain unanswered. There are no publicly available, peer-reviewed spectra to confirm the coma's chemistry. The upcoming Mars flyby could be what finally breaks this information bottleneck. The images and spectra from our orbiters, which should be available within 24 to 48 hours, could give us the solid data we've all been waiting for. Until then, the story of 31I Atlas is a fascinating case study in how the limits of our technology and the cautious nature of scientific institutions can shape what we know and what we don't about the rarest visitors to our solar system. As we wait, the best tool we all have is a critical eye. Compare images from different dates, double-check brightness measurements, and be skeptical of overly dramatic reports. In December, when the comet moves far enough from the Sun, our flagship telescopes will get back in the game, and we can expect a flood of new, high-resolution data. And if Comet Atlas survives its trip around the Sun, we might get another great look in 2026, thanks to a favorable alignment with Jupiter. The global community, from professional astronomers to backyard stargazers, is watching this together. The story isn't over. A new chapter is just about to begin. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow for more updates.